grace of God. But what we can do, as flawed as we are, is still see God in other people and do our best to help them find their their own grace. And so that's what I strive to do. That's what I pray to do every day. I think my public service is part of that effort to express my Christian faith. And it's but the one thing I want to emphasize, having spoken about something that obviously relates to me very personally, as President of the United States, I'm also somebody who deeply believes that part of the bedrock strength of this country is that it embraces people of many faiths and of no faith. That this is a country that is still predominantly Christian, but we have Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists, agnostics, Buddhists, and that their own path to grace is one that we have to revere and respect as much as our own. And that's part of what makes this country what it is. Now, with respect to the abortion issue, I actually think, there are laws, both federal, state, and constitutional, that are in place. And I think that, this is an area where I think Bill Clinton had the right formulation a couple of decades ago, which is abortion should be safe, legal, and rare. I think that it's something that all of us should recognize is a difficult, oftentimes tragic situation that families are wrestling with. I think the families and the women involved are the ones who should make the decision, not the government. But I do think, actually, that there are a whole host of laws on the books that after a certain period, the interests shift such that you can have some restrictions, for example, on late-term abortions, and appropriately so. So there is, in fact, a set of rules in place. Now, people still argue about it and still deeply disagree about it, and that's part of our democratic way. All right. Next. Oh, I want to make sure I get everybody in. Okay.
As far as the mosque in New York.
Yeah.
I'm a Christian.
Right.
But we base our faith on free will.
Right.
And that's what we were founded on, was freedom.
Yeah.
And I just thank you
for
taking a stand.
I appreciate that. You're exactly right. We were founded on freedom of religion. That's how this country got started. That's why people came here, because there were a bunch of other folks who said you can't worship the way you want. And we have to constantly, I think, reaffirm that tradition, even when it sometimes makes us uncomfortable. Yes.
Okay.
And I will try those chili peppers. Go ahead.
Just like the rest of everyone, we appreciate you being here. It's a big honor to have you here.
Thank you.
And I have 3 things also. Mine are simple, though. Kind of. First one is I did a lot of research on you when you were running for president. And so, again, I appreciate you being here. And you have come from the same place a lot of the rest of us have come from. Okay? We've worked our way to where we are now, and we're working harder to get further, higher up. So that's one thing. It's easy. Second thing is I did take my son. As I said, we did a lot of research on you. He was probably 4 years old at the time, and we took him to your rally up at UNM. So we snuck all the way up as far as we can go. It would have been an honor if he was able to see you yesterday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to, but we were. Now, we own a restaurant right down here in the South Valley.
What's it called?
It's called Mateo's.
Well, where's some samples?
You know what? We have some for you. we brought some for you.
Okay, I'm going to check them out. What do we got?
We have to get it passed.
I'll talk to Secret Service. We'll see what you got. Yeah.
But we did indeed bring you some.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now, you have just recently signed a bill for small businesses and getting loans. Now, it is hard for us to receive a loan only because the money, we count on our local people to support us.
Right.
And we support them with our meals, obviously.
Right.
Now, the funds are supposed to be available immediately. Now, what is the criteria? When will that be going into action? And how hard would that be for someone in our situation?
Well, obviously, I haven't looked at your books, and I don't know what your expansion plans are.
No, I understand that.
But let me describe for you what we did. Number one is we set up loan facilities, both through the SBA as well as a new facility, so that if you want to expand your business, you're having trouble getting credit through your local community bank, we are now providing additional financing to the bank that gives them an incentive to loan to you, and they only get these loans if they pass it on to small businesses. So we're not helping the bank just to hold the money. We're saying if you, South Valley Bank, decide that you want to lend to Mateo's restaurant because you think that you've tasted their food, it's terrific, and they want to open a new one or they want to build an addition, then they now have a pool of money that is going to make it much easier for them to lend to you at low interest rates. That's number one. SBA, the Small Business Administration, also has a whole host of lending programs that we have expanded. We've reduced the fees for them. We've made it easier to apply. So if you're interested in the lending program, then you should contact your local SBA administrator here in New Mexico, and I'm assuming that I'll bet your congressman here could probably let you know immediately how to get in touch with them, and they would outline for you all the programs that were available. So that's on the lending side. Now, what we've also done is on the tax side, we have said that for companies that are starting up, small businesses that are starting up, we're going to give them a whole bunch of tax breaks. If you decide that you have to build a new oven and you haven't been sure, should you invest in it this year? Should you put it off? It's kind of expensive. Well, we're giving you incentives to go ahead and buy that oven this year and put it in. And it will be cheaper for you because you can essentially you can write off the business expenses of purchasing that oven this year a lot faster than you would have otherwise been able to do. So that's an example of just one of the kinds of tax cuts that are provided in this bill. And it builds off, by the way, 8 tax cuts that we already passed as part of the Recovery Act that people don't talk about. Right now, you can get a tax break if you hire an unemployed worker. We will give you a tax break on the payroll taxes that you have to pay for that person. There are tax